Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Today I want to talk another video about. The last video I did was about the girl being all confused. Why doesn't anybody want to date my brother because he's a great guy? And again, we know all the problems with that. Well, this is what blows me away. Women want traditional men. Women want strong traditional men. They want men that'll be providers and that are attractive and top-notch men. And when guys say, all right, what are you bringing to the table? They go, oh, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you ask what I'm bringing my flower bud / ham sandwich, right? They say, okay, I'm here. You get me. Well, Cam Newton, who's an NFL star quarterback, I used to live in North Carolina. I don't know if he still plays for North Carolina Panthers, but he was a good quarterback. I don't know if he still is quite as good. He's kind of popped out of the top ratings, I think, but he's still a good quarterback. He's being shamed for wanting a traditional woman. Now, what do I mean by a traditional woman? I mean traditional, like a woman that, quote, knows her place. Now, that's not going to get him very far probably in today's society, but he's under fire for disgusting comments about women. It's amazing that women can say, I want a tall guy. Oh, okay. Don't we all? I want a guy that makes good money or has muscles or is traditional, will take care of me, will support me, will be a good father for my children. And everybody says, of course you do. But then when a man says, I'd like a woman that maybe doesn't have a zillion partners and can still pair bond with me and fall in love with me and keeps herself in relatively good shape and doesn't get too overweight and takes care of the household. I mean, this guy's bringing in millions of dollars. She stays home, takes care of the kids, takes care of my home. I will pay for all her needs, and she just needs to take care of me. And then they say, how dare you? You pig, you disgusting man. Woman should know her place. Shut up. But then when a guy says, well, I'm not going to be a provider for a woman, know my place. My place isn't a provider. You have a job. Pay for your own way. They freak out. And until they change their tunes, men are like, no, I'm not going to be provider if you're not going to take any traditional roles. You can't cook, you're out. You don't want to put out when I'm kind of in the mood, you're out. Because if you want something from me, if you want to go out to dinner or maybe go on vacation or whatever, if I don't monetarily put out, then I'm shamed, then I'm called out, that I'm not fulfilling my role as a man. But if you don't fulfill your role as a woman, that's okay. It's stunning and brave. Nah, we're done with those games. So they say NFL star Cam Newton has been condemned on social media. Oh, his life's over or whatever. Who cares? For repulsive and disgusting comments he made about women. You notice disgusting's not enough. They have to throw in repulsive. Now, this is from Newsmax, which is kind of I think, a little bit more conservative. So I think they're kind of poking fun at it a little bit. But Newton sparked outrage when, during an appearance on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast on Sunday, he said women need to know how to cater to a man's needs. The topic came up about while Newton was discussing his upbringing and how he was raised by his father, whom he called the perfect example of what a man was. So let's start with his first comment here, how to cater to a man's needs. Nothing wrong with that. I'd say as a girlfriend or wife, you better cater to your man's needs or he will not stay with you. He will not want you. He won't want to be with you. Because if you flip it around and you say, hey, a man needs to know how to cater to his woman's needs, stunning and brave. Exactly right. Take care of your queen, king. I say that ironically. But if a guy says, okay, well, you want a king, you better be a queen and make sure to take care of me, they get all butthurt and upset about it. He said, my parents have been together for 36, 37 years now, and it's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a 3-parent household, my mom, my father, and my grandmother, he said, and I know what a woman was. Not a bad B. Oh, he said, not a bad B, a woman. So she can't be the sandy beach. She's got to be a woman. Don't come with all this attitude and I'm a bad woman. respect me. He's like, no, you need to be a woman. And what's he mean by a woman? You need to be feminine. You need to let the man lead the way. Take charge of the relation. You want a strong man? Let him be a strong man. You want to be a strong woman? You're not going to get a strong man because, you're going to be headbutting constantly. And no man wants that. Now, you want a weak, effeminate, soft man that will cry every time elevator music comes on about, a beach romance? Okay. You can be that strong woman. But you're not going to get a strong man if you're this strong, empowered woman. Not going to happen. Newton went on to say that the bad bee was a person who looked the part but didn't act the part. He said, and it's a lot of women who are bad bees. And I say bees in a way, not to degrade a woman, but just to go off the aesthetic of what they deem as the boss chick. Now, a lot of women call themselves, I'm a boss bee, right? I'm the boss chick. I'm strong, independent woman. He's like, look, it's not happening. I'm not interested. He says, I don't want to, and he's even saying like the B word itself. He says, I'm not using that derogatorily to call you that. This is kind of what you call yourselves. Now, I'm a top bad B chick. And he's like, no, not having it. He said, a woman for me. Now, this is the important part of his quote, a woman for me. He's not saying all women need to be like this. He's not categorizing all women. He's just saying, look, a woman for me. These are my preferences. And everybody's giving him a hard time about this. He said, but a woman for me is handling your own, but knowing how to cater to a man's needs. I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of like, I'm the boss chick, I'm a this, I'm a that. He says, no, baby, but you can't cook. You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead. I see nothing I disagree with. Because remember, he's not saying all women need to cook. All women need to be quiet. All women need to let men lead. He said, no, for me, you need to let me lead. If something's going on, something's going down, you need to know to be quiet and let me handle it. And if you want me to bring in millions of dollars, I want you to know how to cook. I want you to keep yourself in a decent shape, which he didn't even say. I would personally. But all of a sudden, there's outrage over this. You want to know what makes good men leave the market? Here you go. Now you're shaming men for saying, hey, I just got a couple preferences. But remember, a woman can say, I want a strong man, powerful man, 6 figures, 6 inches or more, 6 figures, 6 inches, 6 foot tall, 6-pack. He's got to be this, 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 this. And if a guy were to say, no, man, you're asking too much. Oh, how dare you? They freak out again. Until women's standards come way down to in level of what they bring to the table, we're going to have some problems. They say it was not long before fans on social media were calling him out for his statements. Let me be clear about this. These aren't fans. These are the femboids, robots that go out. Man said something empowering and strong. I must attack him. These are all the bots going out there. Somebody says, I can't believe this repulsive and disgusting comments from Cam Newton regarding women in any context. He is turned out in my world forever. Oh, I'm sure his life is over. Unbelievable, one Twitter user wrote. Who cares? Now, they have a highlight here. Now, let me just put it on me for a second. Let's see how many, because I don't want to dox or call out this person. That comment, are you ready? That comment has 2 likes. That comment has 2 likes. That's it. So for those of you that call me out and you say, fake news, these, how can you accept something from Reddit? They're writing an article and they're quoting somebody here that has 2 likes on their comment. Shame on you, Newsmax. Another infuriated fan tweeted, now, at Cam Newton, pretty disgusting how you represent men out there. And I use the word men in quotes pretty loosely when it comes to you. You must be pretty desperate for attention. Shame really that you don't really care if it's negative attention, just as long as you're getting some. Now, this person, let's see. This person got 0 likes. Not kidding. 0 likes, 0 retweets, 0 comments. So we're not even getting people with any agreement. So yeah, a couple of people are saying this, but no one's agreeing with them. So far this article is about this article is about 2 comments that in total have what I say. The other one had two likes, and this one has 0. So far, we've got 2 comments with 2 likes for a total of 4 people agree with this. So why write this article? If you can't take care of yourself, just say that, another person wrote. Let's see if anybody agrees with them. If you can't take care of yourself, just say that. 0 likes, 0 retweets, nothing. So we're making this story and putting this out there over nothing. But it's still important. Why? Because it's in the news. This whole article is written about his comments and 4 people that said something bad about it that no one even liked it or agreed with. But they put it in the news. And why do they put it in the news? Are they trying to shame Cam? Are they trying to point out how ridiculous some people are? I don't know. Someone else from Mediaite, which is a trash garbage site anyway, they have an article and they wrote, the same man who laughed at a female reporter for a valid question said something misogynistic. I, for one, am shocked. Another Twitter wrote sarcastically in reference to a 2017 press conference during which he belittled a female sports reporter from the Charlotte Observer, Jordan Rodriguez, who asked him about another player embracing the physicality of Roots during the game. It's funny to hear a female talk about Roots like it's funny. Newton laughed back. And what's that about? A female reporter asking him about running Roots, and he just laughed. He's like, it's funny to hear a female reporter talking about Roots. Why? Because she's never run one. She's never played college. She's probably never done a lot of deep analysis and drawn out any roots. So to hear a woman asking questions about roots, he's like, that's kind of funny. And a root is when they hike, for the non-American football player watchers, that's when they hike the ball and the receivers go out, they run roots or routes, depending on how you want to pronounce it. They traditionally, I guess you'd call it a route. But that's where they go out and they run a pattern to try to mess with the defense so they can get open and get a pass. But again, and I'll be honest with you, before I even started doing this video, I didn't look up how many people were angry about this. I just saw the story and I'm like, how crazy is it that people are upset with a guy for wanting a traditional woman? I didn't realize they were basing this off 4 angry tweets. So maybe, since no one agreed with them, since no one else had any problems, maybe there's some good news in that people are actually coming around going, I kind of see his point. Especially football fans, because they're usually a little bit more, I would say, middle of the road to conservative leaning people. Not a lot of far left leaning people kind of get into sports. I'm not saying that is an overall statement. I'm just saying in general. So maybe sports fans are like, shut up. No one's listening to you. We're okay with this. I don't know. But I find it interesting that Newsmax, which, it's a conservative publication, why would they even bother with a story like this? I guess maybe slow news day and they need to earn their clicks. Who knows? Here's another article I have, or not an article, a post. And this is from a dating profile that I found on Reddit. This is a conversation. I do have a dating profile of the day I'll do over on Locals and Rumble. A girl named Amy matches with this guy, and this is from, just a couple days ago. She says, how tall are you? That's the first question after they match, because right up here it says, you matched with Amy. She says, how tall are you? He says, 4'11". Now, I don't know if that's true or not, because that is a very short guy, but he might have been sarcastic because he gets tired of asking. He says 4'11". She says, LOL, never going to work. I'm looking for a man, not a little boy. That's pretty shaming language right there. That's pretty shaming language. Don't see anybody calling her out too much. I mean, they did on the internet here. And he turned around and he said, okay, how much do you weigh? And she says, you're disgusting. The double standards. The double standards are just ridiculous. And the more I share of this stuff, the funnier it is. The funnier it is. All right, if you're here on YouTube, join me over on betterbachelor.locals.com. You can become a supporter today for like $4 or $5 a month, depending if you want to do monthly or if you get a year sub. I'd appreciate the support over there. That's where we have the forums and free speech and lots of news and stuff like this that you don't get to see on normal sites because they remove you for being hateful. Not over on my site, not over on Locals. We talk about all this crap.